Alright, so we're going to go over the review for the test for tomorrow. Alright, so what you see on my screen right now is just all the possible formulas you could need on the test tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. If you want to pause this video and write these formulas down, I do suggest that. Let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, it says find the explicit formula, recursive rule, and term name. Okay, to find those things, I need to know, is this a geometric or an arithmetic problem? Alright, negative 29, negative 34, negative 39, negative 44, negative 49. I can clearly see that each time I am subtracting 5. Okay, so that means D is just going to be equal to a negative 5. So that tells me it's arithmetic. Okay, so then I need to find the explicit formula. Alright, so I jump over here. Oh, I don't know what I just clicked. Oh, I did not mean to click that. I don't know how I got that up over there. We'll deal with that later. Anyway, so the explicit formula, oh, there we go, for arithmetic is a sub n is equal to the first term plus a common difference times n minus 1. So the a sub n for this problem, and I'm going to have to write big because I'm not very good at writing on my computer, so I'll be erasing stuff, so y'all might want to be aware of that. But it is the first term, which is negative 29, plus the common difference, which is a negative 5 times n minus 1. Okay, and then what I need to do is multiply this negative 5 into both, which is called distributing. So I get negative 29, negative 5 times n is negative 5n, negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. Alright, now I just put like terms together. Negative 29, positive 5, that gives me negative 24. I still have a negative 5n, so negative 5n minus 24. So then there's my explicit formula. So then my recursive rule is just simply a sub n plus 1 is equal to a sub n plus the common difference, which in this case is a negative 5. So plus negative 5 or just minus 5. There's my recursive rule. To get my 20th term, all I do is plug in a 20 in my explicit formula. So I could just say negative 5 times 20 minus 24. Negative 5 times 20 is negative 100. Negative 100 minus 24 is negative 124. So my 20th term is negative 124. There you go. That's all there is to that. Alright, let's look at problem 2. Problem 2. 5 to 20 to 80 to 320. Once again, I can see that this is multiplying by 4 each time. Okay, so that means then that R is equal to 4. So then to get my explicit formula, alright, if you went to back to the beginning of the video, you would see that geometric explicit formula is just a sub n is equal to the first term, which is 5, times R raised to the n minus 1. What was R for this problem? 4. So 5 times 4 raised to the n minus 1. And there's my explicit formula. Wham bam. My recursive rule is just a sub n plus 1 is equal to a sub n times R, so a sub n times 4. Bam, there's my recursive rule. To find the 11th term, all you do is go to your explicit formula and plug in 11. So you get 5 times 4 raised to the 11 minus 1. And then that's just simply going to be equal to it really likes to fight me on turning on. Okay, well, let's try to do this. Close window. See if that'll open. 11 minus 1 is 10, by the way, so I'm going to do 5 times 4 raised to the 10. 5 times 4 raised to the 10th. Press enter. And I get 5,242,880. So 5,242,880. And that's all we need for this problem. Alright, let's go to problem 3. Alright, let's see. Problem 3 here. Make this go away. Okay, so problem 3 says 23, 9, 3, 1. So, it's clear that I'm not subtracting the same number each time because this is subtraction of 18, this is subtraction of 6, so it's not arithmetic. So, a lot of y'all today said, oh, I'm dividing by 3, but wait, what does that mean R is? Remember, R is the number you multiply by. Okay? You are multiplying by 1/3. Okay, in case you really could not see that, you could do 9 divided by 27 or 3 divided by 9 and just leave it as a fraction. You get 1/3. So r is equal to 1/3. Alright, so now I'm ready to just set up my explicit formula, okay, which is just, you'll remember, a sub n is equal to a sub 1, which is 27, times r, which is 1/3, raised to the n minus 1. Bam! There's my explicit formula. What? My recursive rule is also pretty simple. It's just simply a sub n plus 1 is equal to a sub n. Okay? And a sub n times r. And r in this case is 1/3. So a sub n times 1/3. There. Done with those two. Okay? So now what we need to do is we need to find the 8th term. So the 8th term can just be found by using our explicit formula. So hopefully you wrote it down because I just have it in my memory, which was 27 times 1/3 raised to the n minus 1. So in this case, 8 minus 1. All right, so then that gives me 27 times, okay, 27 times 1/3. Sorry, my brain blanked out for a second. 1/3 raised to the 8 minus 1 right here, guys. It's just 7. So I'm just going to raise it to the 7th. Press enter. And I get this weird, funky number, and I'm totally okay if you just want to write 0.0123, okay? But I'm going to change it to a fraction just because that's easy, and I get 1/81. So the 8th term is just 1/81. That is what the 8th term is equal to. Okay, let's try now doing number 4. Okay, number 4, 33, 40, 47, 54, 61. Okay, that's pretty obvious. I'm adding 7 each time. So then my D is just simply equal to 7. Okay, now that I know that D is equal to 7, I know this is arithmetic, and I can find the explicit formula pretty simply by just simply saying a sub n is equal to the first term, which is 33, plus 7 times n minus 1. Alright, so now I multiply the 7n, so then I would get 33 plus 7n. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. Put some like terms together, and I get 7n. 33 and negative 7 go together to make 26. Plus 26. Awesome, there's your explicit formula. Your recursive rule for problem 4 is just going to simply be a sub n plus 1 is equal to a sub n plus the common difference, because it's arithmetic, so plus 7. Bam! Done with that. Alright, now I gotta find the 15th term. To find the 15th term, okay, I'm not gonna write everything in the mom out again. To find the 15th term, all you have to do is plug in 15 for n right here. So, I can just simply say 7 times 15 plus 26. 7 times 15 plus 26. Enter, and I get 131. So the 15th term is just 131. Bam, wham, thank you, ma'am. Alright, find the first 4 terms. Okay, so a lot of y'all were struggling with this a lot more than I would have ever imagined today in class. Okay, all you have to do is plug in a 1 to get the first term, plug in a 2 to get the second term, plug in a 3 to get the third term, plug in a 4 to get the fourth term. Okay, so if you plug in a 1, you get 11 times 1. So to get the first term, you can just say 11 times 1 minus 4. Okay? 11 times 1 is 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. There's our first term. The second term is 11 times 2 minus 4. 11 times 2 is 22. 22 minus 4 is 18. There's your second term. To get the third term, you can just say 11 times 3 minus 4. Alright? 11 times 3 is 33. 33 minus 4 is 29. To get the fourth term, you just plug in a 4, and you would get 40. Okay, because 4 times 11 is 44. 44 minus 4 is 40. There's your first 4 terms. All right, let's do problem 6. Okay, same idea. You're just going to plug in the 1 right here, okay? So the first term, a sub 1, is just equal to 3 times negative 4 raised to the 1 minus 1. Now this is the long way. Really the fast way is just to recognize that 3 is going to be your first term, okay? Because 1 minus 1 is 0, negative 4 raised to 0 is 1, 3 times 1 is 3. All right, so then your second term, you're just going to plug in a 2. Negative 4 raised to the 2 minus 1. So then you would get negative 4 raised to the first, which is just negative 4. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. All right. So then you can keep doing this, and you get that the third term is negative 48. And then you get the fourth term, which is, I actually don't know this off the top of my head. 3 times negative 4 raised to the 4 minus 1, which is just 3, negative 192. And there's your next term, negative 192. Okay? All right. Let's try doing problem 7. Find the sum of each series. Okay, not a big deal. To find the sum, I need to know, is it geometric or arithmetic? Well, this one has a variable being raised to the, has a number, a base, being raised to the variable minus 1. So it's geometric, all right? If you also just look at the explicit formula for geometric, you'd see r being raised to n minus 1, so it just is the same, okay? So then what I need to do, and it's finite because it went from 1 to 7, from 1 to 7, okay? So I just need to use the finite formula. All right, the finite formula is first term times 1 minus r to the n divided by 1 minus r. So the first term is just 1. If you were to plug in a 1, you'd get 4 raised to 0, which is just 1. So the sum of 7 terms is going to be equal to the first term, which is 1, times 1 minus 4 is your r value. All right, what's the total number of terms? 7. Divided by 1 minus r, so 1 minus 4. All right, you grab a handy-dandy calculator to calculate this. All right, so you're going to do 1 times 1 minus 4 raised to the 7th, all divided by 1 minus 4, which is also negative 3. So if you just want to type in negative 3 right there, that'd be fine. Press enter, and you get 5461. So the sum of the first 7 terms is just 5461. All right. Number 8. The sum of the first 7 terms. I don't know when I stopped recording. Somewhere in there I stopped recording. So yeah, I plugged this in the calculator. I got 5461. Now we're going to do problem 8, which is just arithmetic, okay, because it's 7 minus 3/4 n. All right, which should just scream arithmetic. So I need to use the arithmetic formulas for summation. So you can either do this one or this one. You'll notice that to do this one, I need the first and last term. To do this one, I need the first term and the common difference. When I go look at the given information, to me, I think, oh, that's really easy to find the first term and the last term. Just plug in a 1 to find the first term. So it's just going to be 7 minus 3/4 times 1, which is just 6.25. And then to find the 7th term, you just plug in a 7 for n. Okay. You just plug in a 7 for n right here. So, alright. So we're pulling a calculator. We're going to go with a 7 minus 3/4, which is the same thing as 0.75. So if you want to put 0.75 there, that would really be okay. 7. And I get 1.75. So the 7th term is 1.75. I can now use the formula where I just say S sub 7 is simply equal to n divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term, which in this case, since there's only 7 terms, the last term is the 7th term. So then we get, well, 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'm just going to write 3.5, save myself some time. 6.25, which honestly, you should be able to do that in your head as well. You should be able to see that that's just going to be 8. But if you can't, that's okay. And we get 28. So the sum of the first 7 terms is just 28. Okay? All right. Let's move on to this problem. -2, -8, -32, -128. All right. How am I going from term to term? I'm multiplying by 4. So that means this is a geometric, a finite geometric. Okay? So when we look at what we need to do that, finite geometric, we need the first term and we need the common ratio. That's all we need. So it's pretty obvious that r equals 4 for this problem and that the first term is -2. So I can just say s sub 8 is equal to the first term, which is -2, times 1 minus 4 being raised to the nth power, which in this case is 8, all divided by 1 minus r, so 1 minus 4 for this problem. And then I'm just going to plug that in a calculator and let the calculator do all the heavy lifting for me. So I'm just going to simply say -2 times 1 minus 4. I'm going to go ahead and just put this in parentheses just to kind of maintain consistency. Raised to the 8 divided by, again, 1 minus 4 is -3. So if you just put -3, that would be fine. And -43,690. So the sum of the first 8 terms is -43,690. So -43,690. Okay. All right. Number 10. It gives me a D right here. It says D equals -3. So that tells me it's arithmetic. Okay. And I'm still finding the sum of each series, so I need to use the formula arithmetic, either this formula or this formula. Now, once again, look at these two formulas. This one requires total number of terms, first term, last term. This one requires total number of terms, first term, common difference, total number of terms. When I look here, I have the first term, I have the common difference, I have the total number of terms. So to me, it's going to be far easier to use this formula right here. So this is the formula that I'm going to use. Alright, so I'm just going to say sum of the first 13 terms is equal to 13 divided by 2 times 2 times the first term, so that's -12, plus the common difference, so that's -3, times n minus 1. But what do I know n is for this problem? 13. So 13 minus 1. Alright, now I'm going to, once again, let the calculator do all the heavy lifting for me. Okay? So I'm just going to say, I'm going to bring up here, parenthesis, 13 divided by 2, parenthesis, make sure that typed. Alright, cool. Just trying to find a place that I can, times, parenthesis, alright, 2 times -12. What is that? -24. That's right. Plus -3 times, what is 13 minus 1? That's 12. Press enter, and you get -390. So the sum of the first 13 terms is just -390. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Alright, number 11. Alright, number 11, 12, 17, 22, 27. Hopefully it's pretty clear that I'm adding by 5 each time, so the common difference is just 5. So that means since I'm adding by something each time, it's arithmetic, so D equals 5. So then I'm going to use the formula that I just used again, because I know the first term. I don't know the last term. I know there's 16 terms. I know the common difference, but I do not know the last term. So I'm going to say S sub 16 is equal to 16 divided by 2, which again is just 8, so you could have written just 8, times the first, 2 times the first term, so 2 times 12, plus D, common difference, which is 5, times n minus 1, but I know n for this problem is 16. So now I'm going to let the calculator do all of the heavy lifting for me. Alright, so I know 16 divided by 2 is 8, so I'm going to put 8 comma, I know 2 times 12 is 24, plus, and then 5 times 15. Press enter, and I get 792. So the sum of the first 16 problems, it's just 792. 16 problems, 16 terms, sorry. The sum of the first 16 terms is just 792. Okay? Number 12. 3, 6, 12, 24, and then n equals 10. So hopefully you realize we're multiplying by 2 each time. Okay? So then that's r equals 2. So that's geometric. It's finite because there's 10 terms. So I need to do, that's an s. S sub 10, that's an s, is equal to the first term, which is 3, times 1 minus r raised to the n divided by 1 minus r. And once I get this far, guys, I let the calculator do all the heavy lifting for me. I just type in 3 times 1 minus 2 raised to the 10th divided by 1 minus 2. Press enter, and I get 3069. So the sum of the first 10 terms is just 3069. All right. That's the front page. We're going to move on to the back page. Okay. Problem number 13. A hardware store makes a profit of $30,000 in its first year. The store owner sets a goal of increasing profits by $5,000 each year for 7 years. Assuming that this goal is met, find the total profit during the first 8 years of business. So how many years am I looking at total? 8. I'm looking at 8 years of business total. That means n equals 8. Now, it also said find the total. That means that I'm looking at a summation. All right, so I'm going to need to use one of those formulas that says S sub n. This is an n, by the way. Okay? And it tells me I make $30,000 during my first year. So it means my first term is $30,000. But I still haven't figured out if this is arithmetic or geometric. What does it say right here? The store owner sets a goal of increasing profits by 5,000 each year. So I'm just adding 5,000, not multiplying by anything. I'm just adding 5,000 each year. So that means this is a common difference, which then makes this an arithmetic problem. Okay? So then I can just say S sub 8 is equal to 8 divided by 2 times. Now, remember, arithmetic summations had 2 formulas. This one and this one. I'm going to use the second one because I don't know the last term. I don't know how much he makes during his 8th year of business. So instead, I'm just going to look at knowing the first term and the common difference and the total number of terms, which I know all that. The first term is 30,000. I need to multiply this by 2 because it's 2 times a sub 1 to use this formula. All right, so multiply that by 2. Throw that in parentheses. Plus d, which is 5,000, times n minus 1, which I know n is 8 for this problem. So 8 minus 1. Now, I'm going to let the calculator do all the heavy lifting for me. Okay, the calculator's going to do all the hard work. 8 divided by 2, that's 4. Parenthesis. I know that 2 times 30,000 is 60,000, so I'm just going to type that in. Plus 5,000 times, I know that 8 minus 1 is just 7. Press enter, and I get 380,000. So this business guy, this business guru, is going to make $380,000 during his first 8 years of business. That's going to be his profit. I keep saying that's how much he's going to make, but it's actually how much profit. All right? So, all right. Let's move on. I don't know what just happened here. I need to go down. Okay, I don't know what happened. That was weird. 14. An object falls with negligible air resistance. In other words, I can ignore it. It's dropped from a plane. During the first second of the fall, the object falls 16 feet. During the second, it falls another 48 feet. Okay? During the third second, it falls 80 feet. All right? And during the fourth second, it falls 112 feet. So, at term 1, it was 16. At term 2, it's 48. At term 3, it's 80. At term 4, so then you'll notice that between the first term and the second term, it fell 32 feet. Between the second term and the third term, it fell another 32 feet. Oh, sorry, in term 4, it fell 112. All right, so then this is clearly arithmetic with it D being a negative 32. All right. Well, I guess positive 32. Nothing else is negative, so I should just add it 32 feet. All right, so D is equal to 32. All right, so then, and it says how many total feet will the object fall in 8 seconds? Not how many will it fall during the 8th second, but what is the total amount of feet it will fall during all 8 seconds of dropping. So I want to use the summation, so I want to say S sub 8 is equal to 8 divided by 2. I don't know what the last term is again, so I'm going to use this 2 times the first term plus the common difference times n minus 1, so 8 minus 1. Okay, so I know that 8 divided by 2 is 4, so I'm going to grab my calculator to do the heavy lifting. I'm going to say 4. I know that 2, come on, I'm running out of time here. 4 times, 2 times 16 is 32, plus 32 times 7. I'm going to get 1,024. So in all 8 seconds, if I added up how far it fell 1,024. Okay? Problem 15. Calculate the infinite sum if possible. Remember, infinite sums can only be found on geometric. To go from 1/2 to 1, 1 to 3/2, 3/2 to 2. Ooh, I actually think I said this wrong on my answer key. I said R equals 2. This problem isn't even geometric. Yes, 1/2 times 2 is 1, but 1 times 2 is not 3/2. This problem is arithmetic. I'm going up by 1/2 each time. I'm adding 1/2. And so it's not geometric. I can't find the sum of this because it's not geometric. I messed up my paper. On my paper I said that R equaled 2. That's a lie. R does not equal 2. Okay, there is no R for this problem because this isn't geometric. But on 16, I'm running out of time, so I gotta do this fast. On 16, R equals something. This is geometric. 64, 16, 4. What does it look like I'm multiplying by each time to make this smaller and smaller? Hopefully you realize 1/4. And since it's infinite and R is less than 1, it's between -1 and 1, I can set this up by saying A sub 1, so 64, divided by 1 minus 1/4. So then, and I just got that formula from right here. I wrote it down. First term divided by 1 minus R. That's if it's infinite. That only works for geometric. Okay? And so then I just grab my calculator and I say 64 divided by, okay, I know that 1 minus 1/4 is 1 minus 0.25, which is just 0.75. Press enter, and you get 85.3 repeating. Awesome. All right, guys. I kind of rushed this in, but I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if something doesn't make sense. Send me a reminder if you have any questions. Okay.